Joining us now is Daniel Lacalle, Chief Economist at Tressis and the economic spokesperson for the PP, the opposition right now. Daniel, thanks very much for joining us. I know you're extremely busy at the moment. Let me first ask you what you think about the PP's chances in this upcoming election.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show. First, I think that obviously there's a tremendous amount of voters that are still undecided. About 38% of voters, according to the polls, have not decided yet which party they're going to vote. However, we believe that most of those voters have a clear preference in terms of the leaning towards the center-right. I think that, therefore, as we move into the end of the election process, we are likely to see a rise in the support for the Conservative Party, for the Partido Popular, and also for the other parties that are presenting themselves for the elections within the center-right category.
What do you think about the possibility of working with Vox? I mean, if that could help the PP form a governing coalition, is it worth it?
Well, if we look at the economic policies that Vox has presented, as well as the economic policies that, for example, Ciudadanos, the center-right party, has presented, both have many things in common. It's very important to understand, for example, that Vox is not a party that is against the European Union, that is against the euro, or that has some of the most drastic approaches that we have seen in some of the parties that could be deemed as similar elsewhere in the European Union. So that's a good ground to start working with. I also think that there's a common ground in terms of policies that will support job creation, growth, and attracting investment. So I think that Ciudadanos, the Partido Popular, and Vox have proven, for example, in Andalusia, that they can work together without looking at the things that separate them, but at the things that unite those parties, particularly in economic policy.
Would you not be concerned about the inclusion of Vox hurting your relationship with Brussels, hurting your relationship with other EU countries that have taken a more liberal path? No, and the reason why is because there is absolutely no doubt of the pro-European and in the moderate approach of the Conservative Party. Partido Popular has been a party that has been absolutely instrumental in cementing the European Union, in supporting the European Union, in strengthening its position, and it will continue to be so. And as I said before, the policies that we are defending are going to be very, very clear in terms of both Europe, both the economic policies of Spain, but also in terms of the fundamental rights and the Constitution. The clear message here is that any party that will be in a coalition or in a government support type of agreement with the Partido Popular is going to have to obviously support the Constitution, the European Union, and the economic policies that we defend. And those are key principles that are going to be supported by anybody that joins us in a government. Daniel, I want to give you a chance to clarify your position on pensions and to respond to a video that's really gone viral. Apparently, one of your opponents was accusing you of calling for a slash to public pensions or even canceling them outright. What do you think about the pension system in Spain? It's obviously difficult to fund, as are pension systems in most developed world countries.
The pension system in Spain is clearly financeable. It's about 11-12% of GDP. At the peak of what is estimated will be about 15% of GDP, so it will continue to be in line with those of the other members of the European Union. And therefore, the only thing that we need to do is to continue to support growth, continue to support job creation, create a more attractive investment environment for companies, for
people, investors that want to bring their projects to Spain, and that is the way in which we're going to defend it. Obviously, in this campaign, the opponents, the Socialist Party, have been lying about what I said. What I said was that I don't want Spain to follow the policies that have led other countries in the periphery of Europe to cut their pensions. And unfortunately, those policies were the ones that, and are the ones that the Socialist Party or the radical left, Podemos, are proposing, which is to increase dramatically the imbalances, increase dramatically spending, increase dramatically taxes. And that, what it does is to hinder job creation, hinder growth, and reduce the potential of opportunities of Spain to be more productive, more competitive, and generate better pensions, not just for 2019, but for 2059. Therefore, obviously, the opponents will lie and haters will hate, but the reality is that what I defend and have always defended is for a thriving, sustainable, and long-term pension system. The only way to achieve it is with policies that defend growth and that defend job creation. And those are not obviously the ones that our opponents are presenting, of dramatically raising taxes and putting at risk the improvement of the job market that we have seen in the last years.
All right, Daniel, thanks very much for your time. Appreciate it. Daniel Lacalle, chief economist at Tresis and candidate for the Partido Popular, the PP, in the upcoming elections.